everyone, and welcome to the Hood. To the Hood. I'm Jeff Lowe, along with my main man Keith Butler.
What's up, Detroit?
And Mr. Leland Stein himself. You know,
Coming to you from the Six Hole Studio.
Six Hole,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 6 Hole.
We're posted up off the Six Hole, which again, ladies and gentlemen, is my house. Ain't a real studio.
And it's a studio. We're in the studio.
It's a studio.
Call it.
It's just a studio in the
Call it
house.
what we want. That's
He
right.
just wanted y'all to know that we was at his house. This was on 6 hole.
I don't want to give false information. You know,
Floss.
false.
Did you say floss?
False.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
False.
Well, y'all stop it. Let's get
No,
this
no,
show on the
exactly.
road.
Well,
You know,
welcome to the
Walter.
show, The Hook.
Yes.
We're back on the air, and you know what? It's become a tradition
Yeah.
that we get Uncle out.
And that's Uncle Nearest,
That's right.
or some brand of whiskey or something to drink.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we do a
my
toast.
glass.
We do a toast.
My glass empty.
You want some more in your glass? Stein, I'm surprised, man.
Where'd it go that fast?
I ain't touched
He
it.
didn't drink it. I guess I didn't give him enough.
No,
I'm surprised because you're not a drinker. So
no, not this Uncle Time.
What?
I'm going.
Now,
I'm
you
going
said
down
he's
to the
not a
Golden
drinker?
State game. I'm going to see Steph Curry.
is that enough?
Yeah.
Oh, you need more.
No,
Okay.
that's-
All right. We got the uncle. In the
I love
glass.
how he complain he ain't got enough, and ain't nobody contributing to the cost of this Uncle Near.
You'll get it back one day.
I bought that one. What
No,
you
you
That's for
didn't.
sure.
You brought Bro Brothers.
A toast. Hey, click.
Oh yeah, Bro Brothers pretty good.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, tip it up, boy.
All right, let's go. Knock it down.
That's not bad. I swear.
On a day like today,
Stein, you okay?
Yeah, I had a drink. So
this is how we bring in.
I gotta figure it out.
This is how we bring spring in
Is that how you do
with a
it?
shot of Uncle Nearest and a chocolate chip cookie.
Well, what are we doing? What are we doing in the wintertime when we tip up with Uncle Nearest? What are we bringing in then?
Well, we get some Bro Brothers and Uncle Nearest. We get all the black libations. Put them all together.
Libations, not limbations.
Oh,
He sounds like Trump over there. You ever heard Trump pronounce some words? It's unbelievably funny. He just mess up everything. Nobody say nothing.
I
well, you know,
apologize,
It's
folks.
incredible.
I know it.
We sure can't bother Jeff for that one.
No, but he got on me about false. So.
Oh, he did. Well, you know, brother, ain't gonna forget that.
Limbation.
Just like Trump. He coming after you, man. You know what?
That's right. You mess with me, I'll be coming after you, bro. Me and Trump.
You're like a little
Yeah,
kid,
you
man.
and Donald. Yeah.
He go and beg the people to help me. At first, he don't want nobody help. Then he beg. Then after they don't help, they say, "I don't need y'all no way. We do it on
Yeah,
our
right. I don't need
supposed to
y'all.
get help like that.
Right.
No sense
Oh,
of
we can do it.
negotiating.
We can do it our own.
Right, do it on our own.
That's the Donald for you. But skip all
Right,
that, John.
okay, no kidding.
Let's
What's
get
wrong
back
with
on
us?
topic.
Okay. Well, we're talking about professionalism versus amateurism.
Is it still in existence? Is college sports still amateurish?
Well, you know what?
Because sometimes I listen to radio shows and they're talking about it's pretty much the same. That college sports is pretty much gone because they're paying so
college,
much.
Yeah,
too.
college athletes are being paid.
Yeah.
I mean, before this.
So do we still call it
NIL,
amateur, or are they pros now? Because the term of professional is you're getting paid. Amateurs don't make any money. I'm not just talking about scholarships, but with this NIL, and not all of them, Stein, but enough of them are getting paid in college where it affects, the term amateur.
Well, that whole.
or does it?
But here's one of the
Or
biggest
does it?
facades in history, in American history. For 10 decades, under the guise of amateurism,
I know where you're going.
they have destroyed thousands, in particular black boys' lives, for getting $100 on the weekend to get a meal, for getting somebody loaning them a car, which I could do to Jeff if I wanted to, which I did. I had my own car up there. I let my Noops and brothers use it all the time. So, but you couldn't do that if you were in college on scholarship.
Right.
You can't get a ride home. They bring these boys up.
Couldn't get a Big Mac?
My roommate was from Louisiana, the quarterback, Marshall Lawson. Ain't had no winter coats. My old man bought a winter coats and boots. If they found out he
That's
been
a
on
violation.
probation.
That was a violation.
Yeah, of course it was a violation.
Yeah.
No, amateurism was the only people amateur was the kids that made Saban sorry but rich off they sweat.
But
That's
now in today's college
Well, they
football
finally
or
get a dollar.
college athletic world, hey, any student athlete can get paid.
But every student athlete could get paid in the past, except for football and basketball. The only two money makers were so just want to dominate, take all the money, steal it for decades and decades, and not give none of it back.
Well-
but if you were Bill Gates and you came up with a science idea, after his junior year, they paid him like $100,000. He went and did that research.
Yeah.
Right.
See, everybody's been able to make money except for those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, gymnasts, tennis players,
Yeah.
on and on and on.
But now the question is, though, where is college athletics?
The amateur athlete.
It never was. They was charging for tickets.
But is
and
the
getting
am-
billion-dollar TV contracts.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, can you still call college sports amateur?
It never was. They only did that so they didn't have to pay nobody. It was a guise, a ruse that
But
they
now
used.
that they're paying people, what do we call it? Do we still call it college amateur sports? I mean, do we still call college amateur
it's just
sports?
college football.
Okay.
That's it.
So
College
it's
football.
so we're pretty much done with the amateur aspects of college sports.
So you
It always was done. It just wasn't done for the athletes.
You're calling college football professional.
Well, it's always been a minor league for the
sport.
pros.
Right. It's
Well, yeah.
always been that.
Always. That's
But they
why
weren't-
you
but they
got to
weren't
stay
getting
in
paid.
college 3 years. You
Right.
should not have to stay in nobody's college for nothing in America. That's selective capitalism. Only in football and basketball. You can't get accolades or make money off your skill, which is retarded. If you was a singer and you bust a record as a sophomore, ain't nobody gonna take your money.
Yeah.
Well, don't ask the people who work there.
But they're making money off your NIL, your
Well,
name,
that's just a point.
image, and
Right.
likeness.
They was
Right.
driving Cadillacs. They
Yeah.
made more money than the rest of us.
Yeah.
And they was traveling all over the world. So
Right.
They did something good.
The university's making the money off of you.
Well, yeah,
But
I've
we
been to all
know
them events.
we know as a fact that the university's always made a ton of money
Always made
off
money.
of the
Keith
athletes.
Butler.
And the
And I'm
athletes
Jeff
never
Lowe.
got
Want you to
any
check out
of
the
the
Hook
cut. Well,
on
you get the
Apple,
scholarship. So
Google,
you know we're paying for your
or
education. We're paying for
Spotify
your room and
podcast.
board.
Right.
Even though you're going to be
Questions,
broken down next year, and we're
comments,
going
you can hit us up
to
at our
kick you out
emails.
and take that
Mine is
scholarship back.
Exactly.
You're just going to be out of luck.
That's the number
But now with
10
NIL,
at yahoo.com.
they get able to get
And
something.
mine
Not all of them. Not
J-Lo
all of them.
1215
But the question still
at
stands.
gmail.com.
How does that
That's the Hook
affect the
Podcast,
title of
everybody.
amateur sport?
Thanks for listening.
And like I said, it never was.
I mean, I get that, but there was a time
just a
when
ruse.
the college kids weren't getting any money.
No.
And they considered that as being amateur.
Well, see,
if-
but see, you know why it's been
before
so
you get
hard to
paid-
fight? Because you're right.
Like,
Getting the education. Who gonna fight education? First of all, we gotta take that number one. So by saying they get the free education, they rode that horse,
Right.
and was sticking the money all the time. But
And that-
but
under
what they
that-
said was
under
true.
that guise, it was
education is
consi-
important.
And under that guise, it was considered amateur sports.
well,
And like you said, it's always been. But underneath that guise, it's been considered amateur
well,
sports.
they did that so they didn't have to pay nobody.
Okay, but now that they're paying people,
Right.
they're paying the athletes.
Right.
Do we still call it amateur sports?
Well, they probably
Like you
tried
said,
to.
it's been a meal
Yeah.
for the pros.
Every athlete is not being paid, though.
No,
It's
that is
selective
true.
That's
few.
true. But say, for instance, there was some particular colleges, like I was reading, I'm not going to call any names, they
Okay.
said 13 to 15 of their athletes are under a $10 million budget. And those are the guys that are playing. I'm not calling names, but that's 13 to 15 of them. Now, that's not the whole roster. What's the roster for college
About
basketball? About 15?
52.
About 52 for college
for
basketball?
basketball, it's 15.
About 15, right.
Yeah.
So that's the whole team damn near.
Yeah.
And so what do we call that? Like I was watching a team play the other night, and I'm saying, this is a little smart HBCU. Really, they're playing professionals because this whole team over here is paid. And like you and I were talking at breakfast this morning, Jeff. This HBCU, they can't afford to buy
No,
these
not right
top
now.
ranked
Well, they can't afford
athletes.
to.
They can barely afford their
pay.
scholarship.
They can't
for the
afford
ones
to
they've got.
pay any top-ranked athlete.
Well,
But these colleges are buying teams now. So that's what I'm talking about.
They're not buying teams. They're buying players.
Yeah.
But the players make the team. So if you buy 6 players, if you get 6 players and you're paying them each $2 million, what did you buy? You bought a team.
No.
That's a team.
First of all,
So they are buying teams.
But why are we hung up on what they buying? If they didn't have the money to pay them, they couldn't pay them. So
They had the money to pay them 30 years ago, and they didn't pay them.
So why we worry about it now? At least they getting paid. Now, they getting money. Oh, we got to
hold on, Stein.
regulate the money.
Don't blow cap. We're just saying, how do we look at it now? What's the title? Can you still call college sports amateur? I say no.
Amateur was just
I
the
say
rules
no.
anyway. For me, I've known that 30 years.
That.
So I ain't never used the word amateur because it's retarded. Because first of all,
And
they
you
don't
can't
use
use
it
that
in the
word either.
Olympics or nowhere. There ain't no such thing as amateurs. They only did it, the power brokers and the money people always find a way to screw over somebody.
That's not the question. That's not the argument.
And that's all
not the
there
question.
is with amateur.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that. All I'm trying to figure out is how do you title it now?
Well, it's
Since
just college
everybody
football.
is getting paid,
Period.
It can no
But
longer
you're
be
going
called
worried
amateur.
about the money. Nobody cares about amateur. That word. It never. Nobody
Okay,
ever
all right,
cared.
remove-
they only cared when a brother got
Remove the
a
word
car.
amateur. Remove
Right.
it.
It's just college football.
It's
It
college
is now.
football.
That's it.
It is
And
now, but
college
it always
football
used to be
players
called amateur.
Were not.
It still was called college football.
It was still called
But
college football.
Jesus.
was considered an amateur sport.
Yeah, but
Stein.
so what? It still was college football.
Okay, but that's not
that's
the
what made the
argument.
money.
The argument is before they got paid, it was considered an amateur sport, an amateur
Why
activity.
are you worried about what
I'm
word?
not, because
That's
you
a
keep
white
bringing
man.
it up.
Keep
You
bringing
keep
it up.
talking about it was never amateur, and if it was
It
titled
wasn't.
well, okay, then
Just 'cause they
you
titled-
let white people
okay,
say it, we were never slaves.
Just because
We
they,
were never slaves.
just because they title it amateur don't mean it is.
Okay, I got that. But the
It never
argument is,
was.
what do you call it now? So
Ever.
it was never ever
It's
called.
just college football.
So
it
what
was never
is the-
ever-
what is the
Period.
title?
Was it
I
ever
keep
called?
telling
What
you
is the
it's
title?
Was it ever called amateur sports?
No, it was just called college.
Never.
Well, no.
Never. It
Writers,
was never considered amateur
okay,
sports.
I'll tell you what they
Yes
did.
or no?
Well, they labeled it amateur sport.
There you have it. There you have it.
all right,
That's the
all right,
point.
Stop right there. They. Who are we calling they labeled?
The caretakers and the gatekeepers
That's the point,
in the
son.
sports world were all in bed with not ensuring that these men, especially Olympic athletes,
Let me stop you right there.
did not get paid for their
The university,
athletic
the
ability.
colleges and universities did not accept the label amateur.
Yes,
Of course, they ain't
did.
got to pay nobody.
Of course they did.
Right.
That's why it was called amateur sports.
Yeah.
Whether it was
But
college
you can
football,
say they was paying
baseball,
people in the first place
basketball,
because
lacrosse,
they was
whatever.
paying for their English, so they was always getting something. And they was paying for their
Academics.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, but that ain't money.
room and board.
Getting paid.
A
Yeah.
meal here and there.
But it was still
So they was
considered-
still always been getting
but it was
paid
still
something.
under the guise of the title amateur sports.
But
That's all I'm
what the
trying to say.
Joker did.
So now all I'm saying is, since we know it is no longer, I agree with you that it was never, should have never been called amateur sports. I agree with that. I'm not arguing with you about that. But that's what it was called years ago. Now the question is, since everybody, damn near everybody's getting paid, or a lot of people these students are getting paid, can we still consider it amateur sports? Yes or no? My statement is, my opinion is, it can no longer be considered amateur sports, because to be an amateur, you do not get paid. To be a professional, the term professional means you're a pro. You are making money off of it.
Well, first of all, see, you can
That's all
argue
I'm
that
saying.
all day and all night. The bottom line is they're not a professional. Just because they're getting paid, they ain't no professional. More than half of them, 30% of them that's
Oh,
getting
but
paid,
now- but-
ain't gonna make the pros.
But now we're talking about, well,
So
semantics.
just because they're in college,
now we're
they're
talking
not
about
pros.
semantics now. We're
Yeah.
nitpicking
The pro
stuff
league,
now.
that's not nitpicking.
Yes,
the
it
pro
is.
league is completely different.
Well,
You get
I know
pitches,
that.
you get paid, and
I
they're
know
not
that.
pros just because they're getting money in college.
Okay, so are they still
They're
amateurs?
just getting money. Well, you could were they amateurs when they was getting money for their education and their little food? Were they amateurs? Well, all they now is getting a little bit more money for their education than their food. What's the difference?
Well, they're getting a lot more money now.
What's the difference? They still was getting the money. More than
No,
most
back-
of us.
back-
That's
back
why
in
we
those
couldn't
days-
fight them. Because it's
Back in
hard
those
to
days,
fight. Somebody
when-
said,
when
I'm
you
going to
and
give
I
you
were
an
in
education
Scott-
to the University of Michigan.
Stein,
for
when you and I
free.
were in college-
So they could beat us up forever about the money because they could always say, we're giving you this education. And anybody, it's hard to fight it. But behind the scenes, so we didn't have the ability to fight and galvanize.
Of course not.
And
But
we just had to deal with it.
You know, back in
just
those
take that
days,
education
the
and
money you
don't
got
ride.
was for your education and your room and board. And that
Yes.
was how much? When you went to college, how much did it cost?
So well, I don't know.
Take a guess.
About
$20,000
$10,000 to $15,000
for what?
per year.
Per year. Okay, so you
Yeah.
say $40,000 to $60,000.
I don't know, something like that.
As
Yeah.
compared to that's
But
what the regular
but now
student
you're trying
that's
to
what the regular
nitpick-
student was making
Yeah.
was paying when they weren't even playing sports. So that was $40,000 to $60,000 across the board for anybody attending that college. Okay, whether you played or not.
Well,
All right,
first
so
of all,
you
they
want-
was getting paid. No regular student wasn't, because I wasn't.
Well,
I had to pay.
Look, these schools have stadiums that seat 100,000.
You ain't kidding. They've never been
80,000.
amateurs. It's just
And the people
bull
that,
crap.
that drive them to
okay, well
those
let's
seats
rephrase that then.
and pay for those seats, those fans, those football fans, that TV money, that the advertising dollars, and no college athlete, amateur college.
No,
athlete,
they weren't amateurs. They weren't amateurs according to Stein.
They weren't getting any money.
Right. But they weren't amateurs.
If they get money, they ain't amateurs. They just use the
thought
word
I
like they
said
know.
that.
That's what he said.
I thought I said that.
They only use the word amateur to control the money and not pay people.
And I said, I agree with you on
I
that.
mean, that right there has been the biggest ruse in American history.
But
they did this for so long. It's incredible. But they got away with it.
But now,
But now, now you can
Let's
get-
move- let's
you can-
move into the
You
future.
can get what you deserve based on your ability, whether you're a singer or a
No, we're not
great-
talking about. Let's just
Yeah,
stick
but
with
I'm just
sports.
saying anything. No, I don't care. For anything. If you got the ability to do it and you can get paid, you can do it.
okay.
Only in football and basketball
they're
you couldn't do
they're
it.
getting
So
paid
now they can. So
they're
thank
getting
you.
paid now.
Yes.
They're getting tore off hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some
Millions.
All of
millions
them
dollars.
ain't getting all that.
Nah,
It's just a
We
few.
didn't say all
We
of
didn't
them.
say all of them.
It's just a few guys
Everybody's
getting a
not
couple
getting
dollars.
paid.
Even if they're getting 50,000, most of them, 100,000. Just think about that as a college student to help you.
Let me ask-
with
let me
your
ask you that.
grades.
Let me ask you this.
Get you a car. I mean, just make
no,
life
let me-
easier.
let me ask you this
Bring
one.
your parents to the game. You know.
Here, I'm a college recruiter.
Yeah.
I come to recruit you. Hey, we got some money for you. It's not in the scholarship form. We're going to pay you. We're going to give you $100,000. Now, with that $100,000, do I have to pay for my school?
No.
Does my school have to money come out of that $100,000?
No, the school hasn't paid scholarship. They got to honor that.
So
That's what they.
so they're
See, the
getting
school-
a
see, the
scholarship
school is not paying
on
the
top
NIL.
of the NIL money.
The
I'm
school,
asking
the
a question.
school should be paying the NILs. That's what Derek Coley wrote me about
Stay-
that.
stay in
I
the
had
mic,
done a
stay in the
story.
mic.
Oh, that the colleges are still getting away with murder.
Okay.
We had them. We thought we had them almost 15, 20 years ago when Thompson Cheney and we had built a coalition, and we had went to the NCAA and done it before the board, and we gave reasons like the kids should be able to come up here for Thanksgiving. They ought to be able to fly them home. If any teams that make a bowl game, fly the parents. Just little stuff like that. And we thought we had built a coalition, right? And we had. But the SEC in the South, because the NCAA try to have equal votes. You know how America is. The South gets equal representation. They always voted it down. They voted down when we thought we had them. They just like, we are not paying no black boys. So now the colleges still ain't paying them, but because they was going to lose in courts and people are finally saying, you can't just keep getting billions of dollars, then the people doing the work ain't getting paid and acting like they're amateurs. It's ridiculous.
And I agree with that.
It's just ridiculous.
But
So they knew they
we've
couldn't
all-
win.
we've
But
all
the
agreed with
colleges,
that.
the South still not paying.
But
The NIL is coming from the boosters, which was giving the guys money to get home in the first place. Now they just
And everybody
legalized.
agrees with that. Everybody agrees with that. We all thought that these kids should have been paid 40, 50 years ago.
Oh, heck
The
yes,
colleges are making all this money off their name, off their likeness, and when they come up lame, you're out of luck. The college gets rid of you. And they're still making money off of your jerseys and
ain't no
stuff
doubt
like that.
about it.
So that's what, nobody's arguing that point. I agree with that. That's not the argument. I'm just trying to figure out, how do we label college sports? You're going off on this whole thing about it's never been amateur and all that junk, but
It
then
ain't a
on the
whole
other,
thing, it's
on
a
the
real
other hand,
thing.
you said, well, it's amateur.
No.
It's one or the other. I say
I
it
didn't-
was amateur because that's what they called it. I
Just
agree with you.
Just because they call you does that mean what you are?
No,
Okay then.
no, no. But it's an accepted term. It's an accepted term.
By who?
By your people, our people,
no, it's
white people, everybody.
It's the
Accept
culture.
That damn term.
It's the culture.
That's what we are.
It's
an
our white
accepted
brothers
term.
and sisters that put it out
Not
there.
just us. Not just
Because
us.
we didn't come up with
I
that.
sit in groups with brothers and sisters, and I hear that word like they're breathing air. I've told a couple of people, look, don't say that around white folk. You know, that's not what we are. If you want to say it in the privacy of your home, say it in the privacy of your home, but don't say it around them. It's an accepted term. So amateurism is an accepted term, whether you agree with it being that's what it is or not. It's been called amateur sports because they weren't getting paid. And we know that was wrong. I understand what you're saying. But my question was, what do we call it now?
I told you 100 times and you don't listen.
You ain't saying it.
I said call it college football.
But
period.
I agree with it being college football.
Just leave it.
Yeah, that's good for
We
you.
know what it is, though.
That's
We
good
know
for what
it.
you
We
say.
know it's
Yeah, we
college
don't-
football.
Exactly.
Listen,
So
stop.
what's the problem?
Around the table here, we
Jesus.
agree. Around the table, I can agree that it's college football. Around the table,
It
we
don't
can
mean
agree.
nothing else.
We can agree around this table
Yeah, it don't
that
mean
it
nothing
is a feeding house for professional sports.
It's the minor leagues.
I agree with that. We all agree with that.
Call it what it is, minor league.
But
Especially football and
but the
basketball.
bottom line was, for years and on top of years, college sports was considered amateur sports. Whether you agree with it being called that or not, it was labeled amateur sports, and it was accepted
people-
as being called amateur sports.
And the workers.
That's all I'm saying.
And the workers.
So now
were
what
not
do we
being-
call
it?
The workers
It's just-
were not being
unfortunately.
paid. And the workers.
Unfortunately,
You
what?
hung up on some nonsense.
You hung up on some nonsense.
Just because a white folk put it in his hair, he can't get out his hair.
But the
Amateur
work-
sport.
but
That's
Amateur.
no.
It was
See,
labeled
now
amateur.
you gonna say I can't think for
we
myself.
gotta deal with
Now
it.
you telling me
We
I can't
gotta
think for
deal with it.
myself.
But the workers were not.
I'm
getting,
not saying that.
The workers
I'm
were
saying it
not
was labeled
getting
that,
paid.
just like your
The
job.
people who were working were not being paid.
Hey,
What's your job? What was your
They ain't
job?
getting a penny.
What was your job? What was your title?
Wait, which one?
When you were working, pick a job. What was your damn title?
Educator.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so would you agree that you were an educator?
Yeah. I
Did you
think
come
so.
up with that name? No, somebody termed it what you do as education.
Yeah.
So somebody put something in your mind that it was education.
Yeah, but-
White people told you were an educator.
No, education has
schools
a
told
Latin
you were
root.
an educator.
It has a Latin root, so
So
it has a long
somebody
history
said-
of me learning. The root
Whatever.
word on the English
Whatever,
side.
but somebody titled you as an
but
educator.
Education is a different word than amateur. It's some made up
It's
nonsense.
still a title. It's
by
still a
white people.
title. Educator and amateur are still titles. Either you play on an amateur
But they're
level,
different
or
levels.
you
It
teach.
is different levels.
It's
It's not the
different
same.
levels.
Educators, everybody can agree that it's education. But when you put a rules out there and you make it work for 10 decades,
So if
then now
you-
it's like, just because they said create the word
why,
amateur.
Why couldn't they just say you were a teacher?
Well, because
So what's the difference between the teacher and
either you're
it's a
certified
title.
or you're
It's a title.
non-certified.
Amateur is a title. Educator is a title.
Non-certification and certification.
Still titles.
The same as
Still titles.
professional and amateur.
Everything has a title. So my only
Only
question,
in America.
my only
'cause
question,
nobody
Stein,
else had amateur
the only
athletes.
question I asked when Jeff and I were at breakfast, we had this little discussion, and we were just trying to figure out what do you call it now. That's all I'm asking. Is it still considered amateur sports, or is it considered as it moved on to
They're
professional
going to keep
sports?
calling it amateur because a lot of them ain't getting paid.
And that's the bottom line right there.
So
That answers the whole
they
argument.
never stop because they can control everything as long as they keep that juice out there. That's just the bottom line. So why change anything?
Goddamn, ladies and gentlemen, we came.
Why change anything?
Oh my
10
God!
decades.
More than
Kicking
10 decades.
Hundreds and hundreds of boys out of school for getting a ride
More than 10
over
decades.
a word that didn't
Well,
really even
yeah,
exist.
10 decades,
Because look,
yeah.
I've been to the Rose Bowls, I've been to the championship game. I've seen these guys, the schools come, and they bring their nannies
Are you
and
as
bring
perplexed as I
dogs,
am?
and they stay in the best hotels on the kids' money. And if I got the kid a Happy Meal,
Not-
he'd be
not on
suspended
their
for that
money,
game.
on their backs.
On their backs. So it's just
Okay.
ridiculous. The money's always been there. Ain't never been amateur. They've been getting $1 gazillion on this TV money for the last 40 years.
It's never been amateur.
And when you look at athletic departments, you ought to see them. For each school, incredible. They got
I know.
lawyers, marketing,
but
advertising.
the
They got-
athletes
well, I'm
weren't
saying the
benefiting from
athletic
that.
departments
The
have
athletes weren't benefiting from
hundreds
that.
and hundreds of employees.
Yeah.
And like Thompson
And-
said, when he
and
first went to
millions-
Georgetown,
and millions
no
of
trainer,
dollars.
no assistant coach. He was the only
kids
brown
work
face he
for-
ever saw.
The kids work
You
for
know?
in a professional
It's
atmosphere,
ridiculous.
but they were not being paid as professionals. That's
Because
all
you
I'm
had to
saying.
go to class. I mean, you had to go to a study
Mr.
table.
Stein's just talking around everybody right
Hey,
now.
we don't.
ridiculous.
Hey, we don't have to go very far to see it, because you can go right up to Ann Arbor. They have a stadium that seats
You don't even have to go to college.
1,000 people.
I've seen some of these little high schools.
120.
I've seen some of these
They
little
made
high
it
schools
bigger.
around
And-
Michigan
and they
that look
were not-
like college
They
stadiums.
were not.
They ain't big as Michigan.
They were not paying
Michigan's biggest
a
stadium in the
dime
world.
to the people on the field who actually did the work.
And that's incredible they got away with that for so long. Because black folk, we just couldn't fight them, man. Because under the guise of education,
It's
getting
not-
a
it's not
scholarship,
just-
sit down and shut up.
It's not just black folk. It
Well, I'm
wasn't
saying in
just-
particular us, our kids have benefited the most because a lot of the white kids that came, dads was coaches, they knew stuff. They had a leg up most of all the ones I saw, the white athletes.
Well,
But
this
the
is
brothers,
taking a turn, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, it was completely different, you know. They, they came up there, a lot of them had nothing, man, nothing. You know, so hey, man, get $50 for a meal, you take it.
Okay, so
you
let me-
get kicked out of school.
Let me just ask this, and this is going to be the last time I ask, because this thing blew up and went the wrong way. Jeff, what do you think on this topic that you and I talked about at breakfast this morning?
as far as amateur versus
What is
Professional.
college sports called? What do you think it is now as opposed to what it was?
Well-
is it on the same level as professional sports, which I think it is, or is it still on the
I believe
level of
I believe it certainly is on the same, not the same level,
Not even close.
not the same level, but maybe a
close.
notch below, because it does serve as a feeder system to professional organizations.
Okay, now I'm not talking about as far as performance and all, but because we know that college kids cannot
Well,
perform as well as
But
the pros.
that's the connection.
But
I'm
what would
saying,
you
no.
call it?
I would call it.
Is
Amateur.
it still amateur or is it leaning closer to something?
I
more
would
like
call it.
professional?
I would call it college sports.
Just drop amateur.
Yeah.
But most of the time
So-
when people talk, nobody ever be talking about, college amateur sports. You never hear that.
Yeah, you-
On
right, you never
TV,
hear that.
nowhere.
I know you don't hear that.
Nobody don't call it that ever.
I've heard
No
it growing
announcers.
up.
I mean,
I've
you
heard
talk
it
in the
growing up.
barbershop, but when you're doing the
We've all
games,
heard it growing up.
nobody say college amateur sports. It's not on the marquee. It's not nowhere on nothing that you
No,
write.
I'm not-
So it's always
it-
just
it's
been
not.
college, NCAA college football, NCAA college basketball,
But you've never-
NCAA college swimming.
So you
That's the
tell
way-
me
that's
you've
what they name
never
'em.
ever heard it called amateur sport?
Only when it comes to the money, then the amateurs. That's it. Bottom line.
And that's
but
what it-
every other thing is not.
But that's what it's all about.
No TV contract. They've been
the
giving
money.
contract. They've been giving coaches $5 million a year
I
to
ain't
wear
talking about the
Nike
coaches.
stuff.
We know the coaches
But I'm
getting
just
it.
saying, the kids don't get nothing. How stupid is that? The kids are wearing the stuff. It's ridiculous.
Somebody look up the term amateur.
It's ridiculous.
Do we have enough time to look up the term amateur? Because this is. Well, what do you think it's called, son? Just college sports?
That's what it always called. We said
Okay.
we're going to college football. When you do the credentialing and everything, it just says college, NCAA college football or NCAA college basketball, or NCAA swimming.
Okay.
That's all it says.
So for you, it's just college
But
sports.
that's what it says in all the
And for
writing.
you, it's just what?
It's just college sports.
Okay. And so we agree that it is college sports.
Yeah,
I can
college
agree on that.
sports.
But can
Now,
we agree?
defining it-
But can we agree that at one point in time in life, whether it was printed or not, Stein, that it was called amateur sports? It was looked at as amateur sports. Can we agree on that? That's a yes or no. That's a yes or no question.
I can agree with you on that.
Stein, yes or no?
Well, they labeled it amateur.
Okay.
That's it.
So then we can agree
But
that
it
at
never
one point
was.
it was considered amateur
It
sports.
never was.
No,
Never
was
was.
amateur sports. Never.
Okay.
When you charge people to get in and charge tickets, and people making money off of it, it's not amateur. Amateur
I'm not
stuff-
talking about the university.
Well, you just.
I'm talking about the students. That's what I was talking
No,
about.
well, he's talking
Well, the
about.
student still was getting paid. They
Well, he
was
just
getting scholarship.
he just answered your question then, because he said when people are making money off of it, professionals make money off of it, just like amateurs.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. we're gonna wrap this one up. Eat it. But I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed that one as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We agree to disagree. We agree to agree. We disagree to disagree. But these are our
I ain't supposed to
opinions.
be agreeing with everything.
No, you're not. And this is
robot.
how we look at it. And you all think about it and kick it around yourself, and you all decide what you think it is. I'm Keith Butler. I'm signing off with my co-host.
I'm Jeff Lowe.
And our other co-host.
Leland Stein.
All right, we hope you guys have a good time performing us out there. And we're going to sign off. Peace.
Hit it.